I'm a lonely boy. I'm a lonely boy. Oh, oh, oh. I got a love that keeps me waiting. Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite movies. And yesterday, I watched the latest and also the last Fox X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix. And it is underwhelming, to say the least. It's actually probably the worst X-Men movie. Yeah, maybe even worse than X-Men 3, The Last Stand, because this movie is literally a revisit of the plot points on X-Men 3, The Last Stand. Basically, this movie took place in the 90s, like I think 8 years after the events on Apocalypse or something. So we have the X-Men team, the young X-Men, not the old one, the young ones, with James McAvoy and Nicholas Hoult and Jennifer Lawrence. So we also have Sophie Turner as Jean Grey, who's alive again. I don't know. Um, and then suddenly, because of an accident, Jean Grey suddenly got all these, cosmic forces inside her body, and now she's super duper powerful. She can literally turn a person into dust. Get it? And yeah, yeah. First of all, I am no expert. I'm no nerd on X-Men movies. I am more of a nerd on Marvel movies, like MCU movies, than I am on X-Men movies. And I haven't watched an X-Men movie for a very, very long time. Like, I didn't watch an X-Men movie last year, even though I saw Logan. I didn't see Deadpool 2, admittedly. Uh, yeah, Deadpool 2 isn't really related to the whole X-Men stuff anyway, so, it doesn't really count. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that the timeline is just so strange. The movies, they just jump everywhere. It's just hard to keep track of what the hell's going on, especially when there are two timelines. So we have Logan, which is this incredibly dark, gritty, but also powerful movie that's better than most superhero movies I've watched. And then suddenly we go back in time to have this. But yeah, anyway, let's continue talking about the plot. So we have Jean Grey suddenly becoming super duper powerful and is starting to become rogue, and now there are three different parties of people trying to look for Jean Grey. We have young Professor Xavier's team who wants Jean Grey to come back to the school to be normal again. And then we have Michael Fassbender's Magneto team who just hates Jean Grey and wants her to die. And then we also have this weird shape-shifting alien storyline which doesn't really do anything at all, where Jessica Chastain basically wants to use Dark Phoenix as a weapon so that her race of aliens can take over Earth, apparently, which is pretty weird, I think, because if Jessica Chastain's character wants to use that power to, you know, claim Earth, then why can't she just do it herself? Why must she use Jean Grey? I don't know why. It's kind of dumb, actually. But yeah, I think the aliens are definitely the worst part of the movie. It came out of nowhere and it didn't go anywhere. It's just, um, it's a major storyline in the film, but it doesn't feel like it. And and they're actually kind of cringy because they're always acting like they're very cold-blooded and intelligent. Oh, of course, aliens are like, definitely more superior than human beings. Of course, they act cold-blooded and have no emotions at all. And of course, they're all evil. Duh, am I right? Duh. And with the very rudimentary dialogues in this film, the aliens are especially cringy. But yeah, other than the kind of cringy parts in the movie is sort of a bore. It really drags on. Nothing important really happens. The first and second acts really feel like nothing's happening other than Jean Grey being, oh, what's happening to me? What's happening to me? And, Professor X sort of, being egotistic and all that, which I think is, has a lot of potential, with him being egotistic, that storyline. But that storyline didn't go anywhere as well. And then we have the last act, which I actually think is kind of good, but the very, very, very final action sequence feels kind of cheap, actually. Oh, and there's also this one scene towards the beginning of the movie where something good happened, and all the students in the mutant school were celebrating, and it's filmed in a way that it looks like a snippet from a trashy music video somehow ended up in the friggin' movie. It's just weird. And I don't blame the actors. I think the actors are fantastic in this movie, but the directing, not so much. Apparently, this movie is directed by Simon Kinberg. I'm sorry if it's wrong, but apparently this is his first movie. This is his directorial debut movie, a literal X-Men movie. The last X-Men movie in the whole Fox franchise, actually. Why? I guess they really threw in the towel and gave up because, hey, Disney is buying X-Men as well, so why even caring about the plot or the characters in this movie anyway? Like why can't we just, give up? And I'm not saying that this movie doesn't have any good scenes at all. We have the forced walking scene, which is pretty heartbreaking. We have the tug of war between Magneto and Jean Grey. And we have the train fight, which I think is really exciting and fun. And it feels like a completely different movie than the rest of the movie. But yeah, other than that, this movie is still pretty sloppy, pretty boring, and sometimes even cringy, and none of the characters really did anything. Even though this movie is 2 hours long, it feels like it's 5 hours long. And then we have the narration of Jean Grey at the beginning and at the end of the movie, which feels kind of out of place and kind of pointless. There's even a major character death scene towards the beginning of the film, and it just feels very, very underwhelming. There's literally not much in terms of build up, and there isn't much in terms of consequence either. And compare that with like Avengers Endgame. This movie is nothing in comparison. And yet this movie is the last X-Men movie in the Fox franchise. Why does it have to end so bad? I don't know. Avengers did a great job. X-Men didn't. And yeah, I'm honestly disappointed. After watching the movie, I was like, it's eh. But the more I think about it, the more I realize how insignificant this movie is. Like nothing ever happens. So yeah, I'm saying this movie is it's gone. It's gone in the air with the wind. It's gone. And this might be the worst X-Men movie to date. I am giving X-Men's Dark Phoenix a strong 3 out of 10, maybe to a light 4, somewhere between a 3 to a 4. So, what are your thoughts on Dark Phoenix? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like if you like it, hate if you hate it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Bye.